You're listening to the AstroMommy Daily Horoscope, a forecast that hopes to shine a light in the dark, helping us all see where we've been, where we are, and where we're going. Whether you're a first-time listener or a long-time subscriber, thanks for being here. I truly appreciate you being in the AstroMommy community. I hope you enjoyed today's horoscope and card reading. If you would like to support the AstroMommy Newsletter, there are several ways to do so. Subscribe on Substack, share it with a friend, schedule a reading, check out my family's Etsy shop, Metaphysical Flamingo, or just leave a tip. Without further ado, here is the Daily Horoscope. Holding space while people vent their feelings this weekend. Weekend horoscope for Saturday and Sunday, June 24th through the 25th, 2023. Good morning, friends. Because this is such a significant weekend, I am opening up the weekend's horoscope to all tier levels. Usually the weekend forecast is for my paid subscribers only, so I encourage you to upgrade your subscription so you never miss a weekend post. This weekend, the energy is moving fast. This is because Mercury is moving fast, and Mercury represents our environments, how we communicate, and travel. So there is a quickness to the weekend's energy that we haven't felt in a while. Mercury, the Moon, and Neptune are building toward a dynamic T-square configuration, which will perfect on Sunday, and this means that Sunday could be a bit more challenging and dramatic. Mars in Leo is within the 3 degrees of engagement to his square to Uranus, becoming exact early Monday morning, which symbolizes sudden aggression, accidents, and explosive energy is underlying the whole weekend. So we need to be aware of that and tread lightly and with a lot of mindfulness this weekend, as this energy is easily combustible. We may find that we have to hold space for those who get caught up in all the drama. The moon is in Virgo on Saturday and doesn't ingress into the sign of Libra until Sunday night on the East Coast. Saturday could feel more chill compared to Sunday, but as always, the time leading up to the transits, during, and even after can be more intense than the exact moment that a transit perfects, so just keep that in mind. Okay, let's get into the astrology. On Saturday at 12:25 p.m. Eastern Time, the moon in Virgo forms a sesquiquadrate, a 135-degree angle to Pluto in Capricorn. This symbolizes that we have ducks that we want to get in a row, but they keep wandering off. It's like we line them up and then we look away for 2 seconds, and when we look back, one of them is gone or standing on its head. It reminds me of trying to take the perfect holiday photo. You know, the one where you get the whole family to wear matching plaid shirts, and just as you think everyone is in position, your son throws a stick for the dog who runs right into the tripod, knocking the camera over. Then as you're trying to help clean it up, the baby wanders off and starts playing in the dirt, muddying up her tights. So you give up on the idea of being perfect and try to get everyone to at least stand together. Forget smiling or looking joyful. That's not real life. That's a sesquiquadrate. You're already doing it, but it's not perfect. It doesn't flow, and sometimes it doesn't even get done. But if it does, it takes effort and grace. So we start our weekend with this transit. Then the moon in Virgo forms another sesquiquadrate, but this time it's to the north node in Taurus, and simultaneously she forms a semi-square to the south node in Scorpio at 4:41 p.m. Eastern Time. Again, this is a start and stop sort of energy. That means delays and setbacks with what we are trying to manifest, and these could be kind of annoying and or frustrating. The moon in Virgo doesn't like the plan being changed last minute because of all the preparation she has already done for the first plan. Give her time. She is an immutable sign after all, which are the signs that are all about change, right? So the Virgo moon just needs a little bit of time to adjust to the new direction for the day and write a new list. There could also be a lot of waiting with this transit, so don't be surprised if there are delays, long lines, or traffic this weekend. By Saturday night, the moon perfects a quincunx to Chiron in Aries, which is like being sick and tired of our vulnerabilities or ego wounds and wanting to get things done, despite our Quasimodo-like insecurities. Sunday has a lot of transits, so here we go. On Sunday at 1:52 a.m. Eastern Time, the moon in Virgo perfects a trine to Uranus and Taurus. So this will be late Saturday night into the wee hours of the morning on Sunday that will feel this. The moon and Uranus coming together in a trine between earth signs is like unexpectedly being offered something amazing to eat. It's good. It feeds not only your belly, but your senses as well. You may like the taste of it or the feel of it in your mouth. It's sensual, but also practical because you were hungry. But of course, it doesn't have to literally be food. This transit could also represent something spontaneously happening out of the blue that seems wild and unusual, but it flows with the energy in a harmonious way, rather than smashing the energy apart violently like a square might. So we could enjoy some novelty, new romance, good feelings, or something exciting happening late Saturday, early Sunday morning. Then at 5:33 a.m. Eastern Time, the moon in Virgo makes a sesquiquadrate to Jupiter in Taurus, and this may mean that we were overconfident Saturday night, and now in the morning we have a hangover. It could be a literal hangover, or it could be a metaphorical one, but the moon and Jupiter in this tense aspect mean grandiosity, overconfidence, and excess, so watch out for those things Saturday night into Sunday morning. In the afternoon and early evening on Sunday is when things really start to go down as the moon, Mercury, and Neptune start to perfect their dynamic T-square. First, the moon will square Mercury in Gemini at 1:24 p.m. Eastern Time. Then she will oppose Neptune in Pisces at 2:20 p.m. And finally, Mercury will perfect his square to Neptune at 6:35 p.m. Eastern Time, right as the moon makes a trine to Pluto in Capricorn. And this little cosmic dance, which will be really quick, is right before the moon ingresses into the sign of Libra, leaving Virgo. At the same time as this quick cha-cha is happening, Mars in Leo is applying to square Uranus in Taurus, which will perfect at 5:22 a.m. Eastern Time on Monday morning. This feels like a train is about to derail, Mars square Uranus. And it's like how sometimes in a movie, when a huge scene like that is happening, they reduce the speed and you see everything in slow motion. That is how Sunday is going to feel, like we are watching some sort of unbelievable scene in a movie unfolding in slow motion. Except that the movie is our life, and the crazy event, hopefully, is not as intense as a train derailing and people's lives being in danger, but more like just huge personal shifts in your life that catapult you from one chapter to the next, like the birth of a baby or your child getting their driver's license or something. And now you are realizing that you're going to be a parent, or that your child is an adult and has the freedom to do what they want now. It's a mental and physical shift, and it may come in quick and hot like a bolt of lightning. The moon square Mercury could represent conflicts and arguments or travel delays, and Mercury square Neptune could indicate confusion, self-deception, or dealing with people lying. The moon in Virgo opposite Neptune in Pisces represents a tug of war between a dream or a fantasy versus the reality in our environment. This transit reminds me of pictures on Instagram versus real life, the ones where the person on Instagram is all beautiful and dressed to impress, and then in real life they are haggard and in sweats. With Mercury at the apex of this T-square energy, this brings up communication and our mental processes big time. There could be miscommunications, misprints, or fallacies that are discovered, especially in the news, because of the concurrent moon trine Pluto, digging up hidden information and revealing it to the world. We won't have to search very far for truth bombs being talked about online. This transit could also be beautiful if you are standing in your authenticity and interacting with genuine energy that is real and beautiful and grounded spiritually. So I'm hoping for the latter. It's also a time to remember to not let yourself be fooled by something that looks divinely guided but actually isn't. So be aware of the grass is greener type of energy. My teacher David Palmer, the Leo King, said this weekend is a time to, quote, be at peace with who you are, what you have, and what you continue to grow, unquote. If we can hold that sentiment for ourselves and hold the space for others as they figure stuff out, I feel we can get through this weekend with grace and humility. With the moon opposite Neptune, we have to remember to use our intuition to guide us, and if it feels forced, then it probably is not the way to go. Be receptive and accept the gifts, but don't push, expect, or try to collect on debts you feel are owed to you this weekend. The things that will manifest are the things that are allowed to flow in an organic, natural way. At 6:56 p.m. Eastern Time, the moon enters the sign of Libra, and for the rest of the night, we could see people change their tone and try to be more diplomatic in their actions. The moon in Libra loves to socialize, focus on relationships, and create peace and balance. This is a nice shift from the Virgo energy, which can be pretty stressed out and nervous. At 10:36 p.m. Eastern Time, the moon in Libra perfects a quincunx, a 150-degree angle to the North Node in Taurus, which is interesting because it means taking a hard look at what you are trying to create and either changing it or separating from it entirely. But I wouldn't do that this weekend. With the square between Mars and Uranus building up, I would wait to make any permanent decisions until after we find out what this transit is bringing us. Right before midnight at 11:52 p.m. Eastern Time, the moon forms a semi-square to Venus in Leo, so there's something the moon wants to feel and experience, but once again, we have to wait. The moon and Venus coming together in a semi-square can represent a bit of disharmony and moodiness. It's like having a food craving in the middle of the night, but being too lazy to get up and go in the kitchen and make it. It's really not that big of a deal. You know you can probably sleep off the feeling, but it's there and it's keeping you awake, so it's a bit tiresome. By midnight on Sunday night, Mars will be at 20 20 degrees Leo, 46 minutes, and Uranus will be at 21 degrees Taurus, 26 minutes. So they are 40 minutes of arc away from perfecting their square. This is a big transit that could manifest as explosions, accidents, fires, burns, electrical problems, injuries, and or the sudden release of pent-up energy, to name a few. So be mindful of yourself this weekend, as this energy can grab a lot of people, and we could see people acting aggressively and out of character. We may hear about horrific things in the news as well. We all need to stay positive this weekend and hold space for those around us who are going through intense things. And if it is you who is going through something incredible, there's no shame in asking for help, getting counseling, or just venting to a friend. I won't be surprised if there is a lot of venting going on this weekend. Let's move on to a 3-card balanced spread representing our physical state, emotional state, and our spiritual state. The first card represents our physical state, 21, the world reversed. I want to read to you all the description for this card from the little booklet because it not only beautifully describes the scene on this card, but also because it narrates the myth behind the artwork. Quote, "Stars shine in the sky behind the giant sea turtle who walks upon the waters of the world. Upon his back, under the sky tree, sits a strong, noble woman. In the creation myths of many Native American nations are stories of how the turtle helped to build the earth. After the great flood that the Creator sent to destroy all evil on the earth, only the water plants and animals were left. They were lonely for the human companions with whom they once shared the earth, so they asked a good woman who dwelled alone in the sky to come back to the world and live with them. She agreed, for she was pregnant and also lonely. The creatures first had to provide a place for her to live. The turtle offered his back for her dwelling place, but she didn't want to deprive him of his freedom, so after many others had tried and failed, the muskrat brought up a mouthful of mud from the sea bottom, and the sky woman used her magic to spread the mud over the turtle's back. It turned into an island from under which he could swim. Then the seed of the sky tree of many fruits fell to the island and took root, providing food for the woman and the twins she subsequently bore. The essence of the world, the last card of the major arcana, is completion. It is an end, but also a beginning, for now the minor arcana begins. An auspicious card, it represents the reward for hard work. It can also indicate struggle and hurdles yet to come," unquote. So in the reverse position, the world card symbolizes feeling the need to find closure with something that is personal to you. With this card representing our physical state, this speaks to coming to terms with something that is ending in your physical world. This could be a relationship, a job, or even a physical state of being. Another situation that this could represent is physically experiencing delays or setbacks with a project or goal. Or maybe things aren't progressing as quickly as you'd like them to because you are not putting in the physical work to accomplish them. The second card represents our emotional state, 5, shaman. On this card, we see a shaman wearing bells, furs, and a horned headdress. He holds a special ceremonial blade in his arms for cutting down evil spirits. Beside him are children, and behind him are lodges painted with sacred symbols. There is a crescent moon in the night sky. Quote, "The shaman represents life silhouetted against a background of exquisitely fantastic forms of madness. For example, the peyote ceremonies. Such life can be rough, harsh, dark, even blind. Its power has been called divinely unscrupulous, but this card inherently formulates the appreciation of all existing things, rejoicing in the rugged and barren equally with the smooth and fertile. All things are equally exalted," unquote, says the little book. The shaman is akin to the Hierophant in the traditional tarot and represents organized religious or spiritual groups, values, and belief systems. It's about learning from others who already know what it is you are trying to learn. The shaman is a trusted spiritual guide and healer. Through his wisdom, others may learn and grow. As the card represents our emotional state, I feel this means that we may be experiencing both light and dark emotions, sweet and sour, the highs and lows, both love and anger, or joy and sadness. And in these various different tides of feeling, we are trying to find ourselves, and it may be time to seek out a wise counselor, a spirit guide, or a trusted religious person who can help you understand where you are on the journey of self-discovery. The third card represents our spiritual state, 3 of Blades, mourning. On this card, we see a woman performing a mourning ceremony under a scaffold that is adorned with a buffalo skull and a medicine bag. The sun sets in the background. The 3 of Blades represents hardship, heartbreak, and sorrow. Something has ended and has caused a great amount of grief. As the card represents our spiritual state, I feel that we have gone through something painful and we are still mourning its loss. Whatever this card is symbolizing for you, this card coming up is an invitation to acknowledge the hurt and the pain, and through some sort of ceremony, release it. This reminds me of a little ceremony that I just performed with my daughter to wean her off of breastfeeding. She called breastfeeding boo, and so we had a bye-bye boo tea party where we had tea with our fancy ceramic tea set and ate yummy cupcakes. We sat and talked about the boo and what we loved and what we would miss, all while drinking tea and eating cake. It was bittersweet. We both grieved. But we have also embraced our new connection that is built on love and lots of cuddles. No boo needed anymore. We may need to do this with whatever it is that we are feeling great loss and pain around in order to free our spirits. To recap, physically, we need to create a personal closure around something, or we need to take the necessary steps to actually achieve a goal. Emotionally, it may be time to seek out conventional guidance or a wise mentor or teacher. And spiritually, we are grieving the loss of something, and by performing a sacred ritual to acknowledge it, bless it, and let it go, we will release ourselves from the hurt. Let me know if this reading resonates with you in the comments. I hope this is helpful. Until Monday, AstroMommy.
Thank you for reading or listening to the Daily Horoscope. Quick links and resources can be found at the bottom of the newsletter. This weekend's cards were pulled from the Native American Tarot deck by Magda, Weck, Gonzalez, and J.A. Gonzalez, available on Amazon. If you seek knowledge and enlightenment, the AstroMommy Newsletter may be right for you. Side effects of reading or listening to the AstroMommy Newsletter are common and include joy, jubilation, delight, happiness, gratitude, love, triumph, feeling in tune with the universe, experiencing deep insights, reflections, and contemplations, a lightened soul, a lighter step, feeling awake when others are asleep, illuminated, enlightened, having spiritual experiences, noticing repeating numbers, animals in nature, or songs on the radio that speak to you, getting vibes, clairvoyance, clairaudience, and clairsmelliance, feeling like you know secret language, biophilia, crying tears of joy, emotional literacy, feeling lively, stable, exalted, having an auric glow, or feeling like you woke up on the right side of the bed have all been reported. If you purchase anything through the affiliate links that I provide in the newsletters, I will make a very small commission. Thanks for listening.